Okay, this video is going to be a short side-by-side comparison of the Hansen socket tray and the Pittsburgh socket tray. Now the Hansen socket tray, as you can see, is a bit longer, and these are both socket trays for the 1/4 inch drive, and I'm using Craftsman standard and deep set sockets for this demonstration, since both trays are capable of storing deep trays, or storing deep sockets and the standard sockets. Okay, the difference in price: Pittsburgh from Harbor Freight for a set of 3, which includes 1/2 inch, 3/8 inch, and 1/4 inch drive set trays for $8.49. One Hansen tray from Sears cost $10 plus, about $10.99 or so. So for the price of one Hansen tray, you can get 3 Pittsburgh trays. Both of them are made out of plastic. I'm not a plastic expert, and only time will tell exactly how durable and how resistant they are to either oils and greases and normal degradation caused by ozone oxidation, which is one of the things that deteriorates plastic. So there's really no way that you can tell until you actually expose them to that. But durability wise, I can see where the Hansens might be a little more susceptible to breakage, because you have these longer posts here on which the sockets rest. However, ironically, I did receive one of the Pittsburgh trays, as you can see there, and that is the 3/16 inch deep set socket holder. The post portion of that dropped off. However, I quickly found out, let's see here, and you can see they're all pretty well marked, and that was a 3/16 inch, and this is 3/16 inch. So we'll just take that and put that into place, and as you can see, it stands up pretty good regardless of the post. So the post isn't really necessary, because if you look down in there, let's see if we can get it, you have almost like a socket for it to actually go into, and it holds it in place. So even though the stalk portion is broken off, it can still maintain that and hold it in place, and I think that's very important. You can contrast that with what you have on the Hansen set, which really doesn't have a post here per se, and what that actually has, or a socket, a squared off socket type holder, that has a rounded off portion down there, and you can see, let me take this one off here. You can see that's a rounded off portion, and it really, the thing just kind of can spin and freewheel. Whereas, we'll go back to the Pittsburgh one. Once it's on there, it's not going anywhere. That's held pretty firmly, and I think that gives it some extra stability too. That probably makes up for the shortness of the posts on this part. Also, let's see if we can get that into focus here. The Hansen socket set, or socket tray, will go down to not only 5/32, but even smaller, down to 1/8 inch drive. Now I do not have any 1/8 inch drive, but this is in a different configuration than the other ones. I'm not sure exactly why they did that. In my opinion, they should have just gone ahead and made it similar, or if they weren't going to make the post quite as tall, because it would be a little more fragile, they should have eliminated this portion here, this little cup here, so that this could sit a little more flush with the bottom. Now you can turn it upside down and do it that way, and I guess that's one way to do it, and that adds a little more stability to it. But if everything else is right side up, that may as well be right side up too, in my opinion. They just really needed to do a different configuration on that. But yeah, unfortunately, the Pittsburgh tray doesn't go down quite as far. It only goes down to 3/16 inch. It goes up to 5/8, which is identical to what the Hansen's tray goes up to. So I would say that the Pittsburgh is a pretty good value, particularly if you need multiple trays. You can get three Pittsburgh trays for the price of one Hansen tray. And I guess it really depends on whether or not you have need for these real small sockets, the 5/32 and the 1/8. I only have one. I think I only have one 5/32, and that's the standard depth. And it's good to have a place to put it, but for the price, assuming that it would fit, for the price difference, assuming that it would fit, I would just drop that sucker right down in there. Truth be told. And let it go at that. Alright, thanks for watching, and let me know how you guys do with organizing your tools. It can be a messy task, but I think it's one of those worthwhile efforts. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.